The 2-minute blueprint to achieving, literally, any goal. You know, for years now, I've been researching how high achievers break through barriers and accomplish massive goals. And here's something you probably don't know. Your brain has a hidden switch that can make achieving literally any goal easier. When you set out to achieve something, most people focus on what they need to do. They get obsessed with the tactics, the steps, and the checklist. But here's the truth. That's completely backwards. The real secret isn't what you need to do. It's about who you need to become. This is the key that separates those who achieve their goals from those who don't. Let me explain. Let's say you want to get fit. Most people dive into workout plans and nutrition guides trying to follow step-by-step routines. But the ones who stay fit, they don't think, I need to go to the gym. They think, I am someone who takes care of their body. Can you see the difference? This is what I call the identity-first principle. It's the foundation of any lasting transformation. Because when you change the way you see yourself, your actions naturally follow. Your identity will always dictate your behavior. You don't need motivation. This becomes automatic. And it all starts with shifting your mindset to who you are, not just what you do. The power of visualization and obstacle planning. Now, here's the part that gets exciting. The key to this process isn't some abstract idea. It's two very specific things your brain needs to accept a new identity. The first is clear visualization, and the second is obstacle planning. Together, they form something I call mental contrasting. And trust me, it's powerful. Visualization alone isn't enough. Sure, it feels great to imagine yourself at your goal. But to make that change stick, you also need to plan for the inevitable obstacles that will come your way. And here's where most people get it wrong. They don't think about the challenges that lie ahead, so when things get tough, they give up. But by clearly visualizing both the outcome and the obstacles, your brain starts to build a realistic roadmap, one that's grounded in reality. Here's how this works. Picture yourself achieving your goal, but don't stop at the good parts. Ask yourself, what's going to try and stop me? What's going to make this harder than I expect? By preparing for the challenges before they show up, you make it easier to handle them when they do. Minimum viable progress. And here's the final key, minimum viable progress. Your brain has a built-in scorekeeping system. It needs proof that you're actually becoming the person you want to be. And to do this, you need to start small, and I mean ridiculously small. Let's say your goal is to become a reader. You don't need to read 100 pages a day. Just read 1 page. Want to get fit? Start with 1 push-up. These tiny actions, they're actually reprogramming your brain's identity map. You see, progress isn't about massive strides in the beginning. It's about consistent actions, even if they seem too small to matter. Here's the thing. Every time you complete a tiny action, it's like putting a coin in the bank. Your brain sees these small actions as evidence that you are, in fact, becoming this new person. Over time, these micro-actions compound, and before you know it, you're on your way to achieving your goal, designing your environment for success. Now that we understand how your identity shapes your behavior, it's time to talk about something that can make or break your success: your environment. Your surroundings can either support your transformation or sabotage it entirely. And trust me, most people don't pay nearly enough attention to this part. Here's a game changer: temptation bundling. This is a strategy where you take something you need to do and pair it with something you want to do. For example, you've got a podcast you absolutely love. Now, listen to it only while exercising. Or maybe you have a favorite coffee shop. Make it the only place where you work on that big project you've been putting off. But here's something that a lot of people miss: complete environment redesign. Want to practice guitar more? Put it right in the middle of your living room, not hidden away in a closet. Want to eat healthier? Make fruits visible and keep unhealthy snacks out of sight. Your environment should be designed in such a way that the right choices are easy and the wrong choices are hard. The 2-minute rule. Starting small to build momentum. Every massive action has a 2-minute version, and I want you to start thinking of these 2-minute actions as doors. These are the doors your future walks through. Because once you start, continuing is exponentially easier than starting. And this isn't about willpower or motivation, it's about making success the path of least resistance. Here's what I mean. Think of starting your goal as opening the door to your future self. When you create an environment that makes it easy to take small actions, you're removing the friction that usually holds you back. The trick is not about being super disciplined. It's about setting up systems that automatically push you in the right direction. Success doesn't require willpower. It requires the right environment, the right identity, and tiny, sustainable actions. Leveraging the power of commitment. But here's where things get really interesting. Your brain actually has a very specific way of dealing with loss and commitment, and understanding this can give you a huge advantage. You see, your brain is wired to hate losing things twice as much as it loves gaining them. Let me explain how we can use this to our advantage. Imagine you put $100 down for a goal. Your brain doesn't just see this as money you've spent. It sees this as something you must achieve, or else you'll lose what you've invested. That's when your brain starts to work in overdrive to make sure you follow through. This is a concept known as the Zeigarnik effect. It means that when you start something, your brain becomes obsessed with finishing it. So, here's what I want you to try. Create open loops in your goals. It's simple. Start a task, then deliberately take a short break. You'll notice something fascinating. Your brain will itch to get back to it. This is the power of open loops. And when you combine this with commitment devices, things like telling everyone about your goal or paying in advance, your brain's natural psychology will ensure you follow through. Building success through habit. So, now that we understand how to leverage identity, commitment, and habits, let's talk about habits. Every successful goal is built on habits, and habits are built on existing behaviors. That's why it's so important to identify what habits you already have and build on them. Here's a simple strategy that works. Habit stacking. Take a habit that you already do without thinking, like drinking your morning coffee, and attach your new habit to it. Want to read more? Read a page immediately after your coffee. Want to exercise? Do one push-up after you brush your teeth. These tiny habits are your foundation for bigger success. But here's the kicker. Some habits are gateway habits. These habits don't just help you with one thing. They literally upgrade your entire system. For example, getting enough sleep or exercising regularly. These aren't just habits. They're foundation habits that make every other habit easier. Motivation is progress, not perfection. Most people think motivation is this elusive thing. They think it's something you have to wait for. But that's simply not true. Motivation is something you can master once you understand how it works. Here's the deal. Motivation is like a bridge. On one side is where you are now, and on the other side is your goal. Every action you take is a step along that bridge. What your brain craves is progress, not just the end goal. Motivation isn't about thinking about the future. It's about feeling the rewards of progress in the present moment. Track your progress and stay motivated. So track everything. Every little win. If you exercise, check it off. If you read, mark it down. The more you track, the more motivated your brain becomes to keep pushing forward. And over time, those tiny actions add up into something massive. The trick is to set yourself up for success by tracking progress, creating automatic habits, and using your environment to your advantage. These aren't just hacks. They're strategies rooted in how your brain works. And once you understand that, achieving your goals becomes inevitable. Now, if you're ready to start applying the 2-minute blueprint and achieving your goals, I want to hear from you. What's one small action you can take today to get started? Drop your answer in the comments. Let's make this happen together.